Guys, Bitcoin and altcoins continues to have massive pumps towards the upside. In today's video, I am actually going to show you who I think is actually responsible for these pumps, because there is one big thing happening behind the scenes right now. And yeah, I'll go through everything here in this video, telling you who is actually buying Bitcoin right now. So make sure to stick around from the beginning until the end. Welcome back, guys. And Bitcoin has had a nice pump yesterday. We pumped from $94,000 above the orange line up to almost $98,000. And now we are having a little bit of a pullback, but still we closed this daily candle above this pointer. And if this red candle can also stay above the $95,000 area, then this is very, very good. So this is now, when I look at this chart here, I am short-term neutral, I am mid-term bullish, and long-term bullish. Okay, so what would I need to see for us to break? So look at this also, guys. The moving average here, 20 period moving average, 20-day moving average, right now pushing down the Bitcoin price. Now, what would I want to see for me to become also short-term bullish? I want to see us come up. I want to see us first break through the resistance we're at right now, obviously. Second, I want us to come up and break $100,000. And then I believe that we are going to make a push towards this red line. And at that point, where is the red line going to be? The previous resistance, or the previous support now turned into resistance. So one scenario that I'm anticipating here is, first, we managed to break through this point, and then $100,000. And then, yeah, at that point, probably the red line will already be above the resistance I have here at 111. At that point, I would say that the previous all-time high would be the major resistance. So first we break through the orange moving average, then the orange line at 100K, and then the big resistance will be at 106. So if we manage to break through the moving average here, I am bullish for a move up to 100K. And if we manage to break through 100K, I am bullish for a move up to 106. So I hope that makes sense, guys. That is my short-term outlook for Bitcoin. Long-term and mid-term, I was always bullish, as you know. And in fact, let us talk about the long-term charts here for Bitcoin before I talk about why you saw this big pump yesterday and who was actually buying, who I think was actually buying. Okay, let us continue. So what you can see, if you look at the weekly time frame, things are looking exactly as we were talking about since years ago already. So typically after the halving, you see that we have this consolidation in within these two orange lines. And then after the consolidation, after the halving, you see a big move. You saw the same thing in 2016. Halving, consolidation, big move. You saw the same thing in 2020. Halving, consolidation, big move. And I was saying right here that I believe that after the halving, we're going to have consolidation, and then we're going to have a big move. And this move has started right now. And this is when we broke, what is that, $70,000. And I believe that this is going to continue up to $150,000, $180,000, $200,000 for the cycle. Now, this consolidation and us breaking the orange line here was, of course, not the first time we started to say that we were actually in a bull market and that we should start accumulating Bitcoin. No, this happened the moment, and I want to show you the RSI here. So these RSI patterns have also been very reliable in the past. So you can see here, we broke the RSI pattern, and that is when Bitcoin was at the low here at $200. And since breaking the RSI pattern, we had a massive move towards the upside. And also it was accompanied by this downward sloping red line. So we break the downward sloping red line together with RSI. That is a massive trigger for us to have massive upside on the weekly time frame. So this is like on a cycle to cycle basis. Same thing here, downward sloping red line. We break the resistance right here. At the same time, we break the RSI structure and we have a big move towards the upside. And I was talking about this major pattern right here in 2020, 2021, and then we broke it at the beginning of 2023. And I said, hey guys, we are right now not only breaking the RSI pattern, we're also breaking the downward sloping red line here. And this is when Bitcoin was at exactly about 20. So the RSI pattern we actually broke when Bitcoin was at $16,000. So that's when we really started to buy Bitcoin here, preparing us for the cycle. But then when we also broke this downward sloping red line of the structure here, and also right here, you can see everything was lining up, and this was beautiful, and we accumulated a lot of Bitcoin right here, and now we're riding it towards the upside. By the way, guys, I still, from my spot bag that I got into right here, I still haven't sold a single Satoshi's worth of Bitcoin here. So I'm still holding my entire bag that was accumulated from back here. Hey, let me know down in the comment section if you remember when I was talking about these RSI structures and this pattern right here breaking at the beginning of 2023 when we were at $16,000 and at $22,000. So long term, things are still looking very, very good. Now, as you know, guys, I have been trying to urgently tell you about a big move that was about to happen for Altcoin, Doge and XRP, Cardano, everything else. I want to make one suggestion for you. I want to give you one advice. And that is that as we go into the next phase of this bull market, I believe that we're still in the bull market. It will be very hard to keep focus. And I think a lot of people experienced that as well when we had these massive swings just a few weeks ago, when altcoins were going up, they were going down. It's hard to focus. And it's going to be even harder as we move into the next phase, which is going to be even more volatile and even more parabolic. So what I would try to suggest to you guys is try to focus on how you're actually going to make money, because there will be a lot of drama in Twitter, a lot of drama on YouTube, people saying this coin is better than that, and people fighting with each other. A good example of this is actually in my harsh. Like, yeah, every day we have 24 hours left. Like, oh, this big move, just look at it. Yeah, year in, year out. Like, yeah, nothing is going to happen. And then he will say, I told you. So yeah, we're not in a bull market and everything will moon. Like, these YouTubers are ridiculous, basically, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, 24 hours, you said 72 hours before, and then you said 48, and then 24. And then also, by the way, guys, I said, yeah, now it is finally happening. All bullshit. And I mean, you will see see things like this, and instead of being like this, guys, just try to focus. If you don't believe what I am showing you on the charts here, that is absolutely fine. But instead of causing drama, try to find charts of your own. Try to find ways to make money. If you are a bear, then fine. Find charts that are backing up that thesis instead of using that energy to just spread hate. And it's just like, for me, I don't care. But for you, it is more important to focus that energy on actually making money. Because, you know, if you don't agree with my charts, that is fine. But these charts, anyway. So let us go back here. So then I said that the move was finally starting to happen, and Ethereum was, of course, the first one that was breaking out. And you can see that so far, Ethereum has had a nice move by about 5%, seen a little bit of a pullback here. Now, when I look at this, guys, this is actually bullish. So we have a move towards the upside, a little bit of consolidation. So I am expecting Ethereum to come up and test 3,618. So the breakout for Ethereum is beautiful, and I believe that this is going to continue. Now, for Solana, it is even better. Look at this. Solana, huge green candles towards the upside, and even breaking after feeling some resistance here at the red line, trying to break through it, having a pullback, now having this red candle, and not breaking down back into the pattern. Also, the bears are trying to defend the area here for Solana at 210. But if we manage to break through this, guys, next level really is 222. So that is looking really, really good for Solana as well. So finally, the bullish momentum for Solana is coming back. And this is so nice because, you know, we've had these patterns in the past, right? So we've had this downward sloping channel for Solana. And look at this. I can see a trend line right here. I can see a trend line sloping upwards for Solana, right? So look at this. So this is how it typically goes. We have these consolidation patterns, we break down from them, and then we create new ones. And now we are starting to create a bullish pattern towards the upside, guys. So that is absolutely fantastic. I will keep you updated on that, of course, as well. Now, if we look at Solana compared to Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, after going up, meeting resistance of the red line right here, we are once again starting to see a move towards the upside. Now, this is on the weekly time frame, so we still have a few days left. So that is great. And next level of resistance will be up here at about 2.4% of a Bitcoin. So Solana really on the Bitcoin chart can outperform Bitcoin by 12% and still not be at big resistance. And if we manage to break into this pattern and break out of it towards the upside, that will be very, very beautiful. Look at that Dogecoin. Also, Dogecoin is now seeing those breakouts. And Dogecoin, since this breakout, is up, what is that, 10%. So absolutely beautiful for Dogecoin. And I think that for Dogecoin, this is also going to continue towards the upside. Let us move on here. XRP, absolutely beautiful for XRP here. We've had a move 20% since the breakout of this pattern, which I was trying to warn you about here, that XRP was actually looking the best out of the altcoins that we are following. And XRP is also the coin that has been having, I think, the biggest move towards the upside. And now you can see the bulls are defending this area. You can see the bears try to push us down, didn't manage to do that. Bulls defending this area. We are right now at $2.40. Congratulations to everyone who took this trade and made a lot of money on this XRP trade. Absolutely beautiful. We saw some decent pullbacks, guys. We saw pullbacks worth of 35%. This was always going to happen, even in a bull market, as you know. But for now, things are looking really, really good. Looking at Cardano, same thing for Cardano here, breaking above this pattern. I added this yellow line right here because you can see the price is clearly respecting this level as well. So breakout of this pattern, and since this move, we have seen, wow, that is absolutely insane. That is 24% since the breakout here. And guys, everything was lining up. And even though people were giving me so much hate for trying to, because I not only showed you the charts, watching if you were enjoying these gains and if you make money on these moves. Now, the total chart is, and this is beautiful, it is right below resistance. So yes, if we can manage to break through this, then things are about to go absolutely nuts. The last time we broke above on the total chart, the orange line here, altcoins and Bitcoin saw massive moves towards the upside. So everything is looking so beautiful. Just following up here on what we've been talking about the last few days. And then I will talk about who actually bought Bitcoin here recently. So for the other chart, which is the altcoin index outside of the top 10, so smaller altcoins, this is also breaking out. Now, let us see if this can sustain. If this can sustain a move towards the upside, then we are in for some absolutely ridiculous gains. We've already seen massive gains across the board. Altcoins are doing extremely well. And just like I showed, many altcoins like Cardano is up 25% from the breakouts. But if this continues, even though we should be happy with the gains we've seen so far, this can continue. I'm expecting this to continue. And if it continues, then what you've seen so far is just the beginning. And that is going to be absolutely beautiful to see. Now, before I talk about, I actually want to give you a quick update on the trading strategy, because the trading strategies have been doing extremely well. Of course, you know that I've been, for Bitcoin, it is up $232,000, massive. For Ethereum, it's up to $126,000, massive. For Solana, it's up $114,000. And what I also want to say, guys, for those of you who were not editing the price range for Solana, you know that I edited the price range right here, but also in the video when I edited the price range, I said that you can also not edit the price range and just hold the position you have, and then Solana bot will start to trade again once we get into the range. And the previous range was 207. So for everyone who did not edit the price range, the bot here, the strategy should already start to trade for you again. So that is beautiful, up $114,000. Doge is up $36,000. So absolutely beautiful here. And Cardano obviously has been doing well. So Cardano is up also on the annualized percentage. It is up 840%. So that is insane. XRP on the yearly percentage is up 1,662. Absolutely insane. So yeah, these breakouts, also with these trading strategies, you are seeing some absolutely amazing gains. Also for XLM, and I want to show you the favorite here as well, insane, 2,473 for HBAR. So everyone that have been using these trading strategies, massive congratulations to you. And what I also wanted to show you is the 100x challenge. So right now we have been doing some amazing gains. You can see that we are down $335. If we just went into a Bitcoin position, we would be down $600. So the algorithm has gained about $300 almost here. And then we already added 846 before. So what I will do right now for this plan here for the 100x challenge, guys, if we come up higher and we see like, I don't know, $400 here on this trading strategy, and then the unrealized profit here will probably be like maybe at $1,000, I will take those, let's say $1,500, and compound it back into the Bitcoin strategy right here, which means that we will be trading with about $12,000 at that point, which means that we have already made, if that happens, we've already made about 20%, because remember we started with $10,000. So that would mean that we've made 20% gains in, when did we start this? 11 days. So that is absolutely not too bad with a low risk Bitcoin strategy having only 5x leverage. So I would be very, very happy with that, guys, if we can make 20% in just 11 days, and then we compound it back into the strategy and make even more profits moving forward. So far, I think that everything is going absolutely fantastic here. Now, of course, if you want to take advantage of the explosive moves towards the upside, then altcoins are obviously, I think, going to make more gains, but this one is a long-term strategy. This is going to take place over years. So we're not in any kind of rush here with this 100x challenge. And I will continue to update you and monitor everything here and add everything that is happening here to the 100x challenge. And if you want to use or join the 100x challenge, people ask me, is it too late? Of course, it is not too late. If you want to join the 100x challenge, Pionex right here, claim the amazing bonuses. First, you have this link right here, claim these bonuses. Second link, time limited to claim these massive bonuses. And then you have Bitcoin. This is the 100x challenge. So make sure to get into that. But then Ethereum, Solana, and Doge, if you want to use it for altcoins. These are my main ones. If you want to use it for Cardano, XRP, HBAR, Litecoin, whichever, click on this link. It is going to take you right here. And you can use it for whichever altcoin you want to use. And updates, guys, I've added a trading strategy for Virtual. So Virtual is actually the best performing, or one of the best performing altcoins of 2024. So absolutely amazing here for Virtuals. So you can use this one also if you want. You can see I have it right here, started just 1 hour ago. So you can use that for Virtual as well. Now, let me show you what I think happened with Bitcoins here. So Bitcoin had a big move. And the question is, who was actually buying in this massive green candle, taking us above the resistance here? The bears were trying to defend this, and the bears got liquidated on the way up. They got absolutely wrecked on this green candle. So we saw a big buyer step in here. Who was that big buyer? I have my theory, because if I look at what happened yesterday, we can see that the ETF actually saw outflows. So BlackRock and these ETFs, they were actually selling Bitcoin, which makes this move very, very interesting, because that means that the amount of buying pressure on this daily candle yesterday is absolutely absurd, considering that the ETFs were selling, but still we saw that huge pump. Now, let us do some more digging, guys. Let us look at this in more detail. So if we see the inflows and outflows of the ETFs, we can see BlackRock had minus 330 million yesterday. Now, let us look at this in more detail. If you look at the Coinbase premium, you can see that the Coinbase premium was going up, meaning there was a higher amount of buying on Coinbase here. So whatever happened yesterday, the big green candle, most of it was probably from one entity who was using Coinbase. So we can see that by the Coinbase premium going up. What is the Coinbase premium? It shows us what the price difference is between Coinbase, which is an US exchange, and the other exchanges out there. So this is very, very important to see, because it means that we can see where the money is actually flowing in. And we can see that most of the buying yesterday was primarily on Coinbase. Okay, so we have some information now, we have some data, and we can try to make an assumption. So if most of the buying came from Coinbase, it is probably a large US-based institution. Let's take it a bit further. We know that the largest US institutions that typically uses Coinbase for buying is MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor. Now we know that on Monday, he announced a purchase. Now the purchase on Monday was only $250 million. So that was not big. So is he the buyer? Will he announce on Monday that he has purchased? Because this should probably be some $1 billion, guys, at least $1 billion worth of purchasing yesterday. Could it be Michael Saylor? It could be Michael Saylor. But for some reason, I got a gut feeling that this was not Michael Saylor, simply because the last purchase was very small at only $200 million. And usually when he buys, he tends to say stuff like, we need more green dots on the MicroStrategy chart and stuff like this. And we haven't seen that. So I think that this was not Michael Saylor. And if you look at the consensus right now from the people who are issuing these ETFs, I talked about this in yesterday's video, how the talk behind the scenes with US institutions was that you were going to see an accelerated amount of inflows into these ETFs. So inflows will accelerate Q1. The median 2025 Bitcoin price prediction is $180,000. There's a big chance that we will see a Solana ETF, and there's nearly zero mentions of downside concerns. So behind the scenes, the institutions here are very, very bullish. Now, we are at the beginning of the year, and maybe, just maybe, guys, some institutions said that, okay, this is the plan for next year, guys. So this is the plan they had for 2024, moving into 2025. They said, in 2025, we are not going to miss out on the crypto boom. So in 2025, we will buy Bitcoin. That is what I believe is happening right here. I think that one or more big institutions actually had a plan to start buying on the 1st of January. Now, is that ridiculous that it would start exactly at the 1st of January? Maybe, maybe not. But I got a gut feeling that that is actually what happened. And I believe that we will see some, it can take months, guys. It can take half a year until we actually see if there was one particular institution that were buying right here. But we might find out about it in the future. And in that case, we can go back to this video and see if my thesis was actually correct or not. But I believe that a big new US institution, not MicroStrategy, actually started to purchase Bitcoin on the 1st of January here. And that is also going to accelerate moving into the next few months, which is why I remain bullish, as I've always been, guys. Since we broke, just like I said, this pattern right here, the RSI structure, since we broke through the downward slope, this RSI structure, since we broke through this red line right here at $22,000 and $16,000 on the RSI, I have been a massive bull from that point, and I see no reason to change that, guys. Thank you so